नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So let us read from the Bhagavad-Gita, one of the most important chapters, chapter number 15, which is the Yoga of the Supreme. And we are going to read verse number 2 today. Hare Bol. Adhaḥ. Okay, we'll read the verse first. Adhaś ūrdhvam prasṛtās śākhā. adhaś ūrdhvam prasṛtās śākhā. guṇa-pravṛddhā viṣaya-pravālāḥ. guṇa-pravṛddhā viṣaya-pravālāḥ. adhaś mūlāni anusantatāni. adhaś mūlāni anusantatāni. karmānubandhīni manuṣya-loke. karmānubandhīni manuṣya-loke. Beta, you should also try. Mataji, they are the future. Children are our future. So we must tell them whatever broken they recite, no problem. But Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-Gita verses coming out of our throat, that itself is a very great thing. For these children, very small verses, teach them. Okay? Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji Mataji, let's go to the word to meaning. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Adhaḥ, downward. Cha, and. Ūrdhvam, upward. prasṛtāḥ, extended. Tasya, its. śākhāḥ, branches. Guṇa, by the modes of material nature. pravṛddhāḥ, developed. viṣaya, sense objects. pravālāḥ, twigs. adhaḥ, downward. Cha, and. mūlāni, roots. anusantatāni, extended. karma, to work. anubandhīni, bound. manuṣya-loke, in the world of human society. Please hear the translation. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. Please repeat. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the subjects of senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. So let us hear translation purport by Srila Prabhupada. Purport. The description of the banyan tree is further explained here. Its branches spread in all directions. In the lower parts, there are variegated manifestations of living entities. Human beings, animals, horses, cows, dogs, cats, etc. These are situated on the lower parts of the branches, whereas on the upper parts of the higher form of the living entities, the demigods, gandharvas, and many other higher species of life. As a tree is nourished by water, So this tree is nourished by the three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find that a tract of land is barren for want of sufficient water, and sometimes a tract is very green. Similarly, where particular modes of material nature are proportionately greater in quantity, the different species of life are manifested accordingly. The twigs of the tree are considered to be the sense objects. By development of the different modes of nature, we develop different senses, and by the senses we enjoy different varieties of sense objects. The tips of the branches are the senses, the ear, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of different sense objects. The twigs are sound, form, touch, and so on, and sense objects, the sense objects. The subsidiary roots are attachments and aversions, which are by products of the different varieties of suffering and sense enjoyment. The tendencies toward piety and impiety are considered to develop from these Hare Krishna. Symptoms. The real root is formed, these secondary roots which spread in all directions. The real root is from Brahmaloka, and the other roots are in human planetary system. After one enjoys the results of various activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to this earth and renews his karma or fruitive activities for promotion. This planet of human being is considered the field of activities. La Prabhupada ki jai. So, Krishna has given an analogy to us, and this analogy he is describing this material world. Material world means want only this our planetary system, or it is including higher planetary system also, including Brahmaloka, up to Brahmaloka. So Brahmaloka to the lowest planet, these are all material world. So he is thinking, Krishna, when he is giving this analogy, let us go back little bit, Prabhuji Mataji, in the Bhagavad-Gita. What he does? He speaks to Arjuna first karma yoga, dhyana yoga, and then bhakti yoga. When he comes to bhakti yoga, which is the root for us, which is the nourishment for us, our devotee, when he speaks on the bhakti yoga, so Arjuna asks a questions to Krishna. What is the first question? Is evam satyayuktaye bhaktastam parupasate ye chapi aksharam avyaktam tesam ke yoga vittama tesam ke yoga vittama. Krishna, out of these two categories of the worshippers who worship the Sakar Rupa and Nirakar Rupa, which is better? So this is a very basis of our foundation in devotional service. We should understand what we need to do. So Arjuna is putting a foundation there. Then Krishna replies, Maya vesh manoyam nityayukta pasate, that in my opinion, te me yukta mamata. Krishna is saying, in my opinion, those who worship me in the direct form or the personal form, I consider them better. So this is the starting point. But he warns Arjuna in 12.5, what he says, klesho adriktesam avyakta asaktesam. Klesho, that in this path, if somebody wants to follow the impersonal path, that means there are a lot of kleshas, lot of disturbances, lot of difficulties. Then Krishna is thinking in the mind that my duty as a spiritual master, because Sisas Tem Sadit Mam Tam Prapannam, he has given surrender to Krishna, Arjuna, in 2.7. So he is thinking, as a spiritual master, which I am going to impart the knowledge to Arjuna. And really we have to think, for us and Arjuna, Arjuna is also lost in somewhat in this banyan tree or the material world tree, and he wants to come out of that. What is his dilemma? He is thinking, all these people who are standing in front of me, my uncle, my grandsons, my brothers, my this, my that, my that. My is the key reason there. All these are my members. How I can kill them? He says that Isubhi prasyossami pratyar arisudana. Arisudana means, Ari means enemy, oh killer of the enemy. How can I shoot an arrow? Isubhi pratyossam. How can I shoot an arrow on my grandfather and my teacher? So he is in big dilemma. So to bring him out of this dilemma, so he started explaining, we have to see the ladder, karma yoga, dhyan yoga, bhakti yoga. But we know the process. But the application, if we do not know, really we cannot get the real solution. To get the real solution, in this particular chapter, 15th chapter, he is giving the real solution. What is the title of the chapter? The Yoga of the Supreme. The Yoga of the Supreme Person. Yoga means what, Prabhuji? Yoga means to attach, to join. So to join means, Krishna is giving the solution to Arjuna. The only solution for you is, unless you join with the Supreme Person, you don't have the solution yet. You may know all the formulas, you may know all the processes, but ultimately you have to join. To join means what? You are attached somewhere else. We are all attached. All of us, without exception, we are all attached. So we have to cut our attachment from other places and come to this place where, to the Supreme Person. Then only we are having final solution with us. So what happens? In 13th chapter, the nature, the enjoyer and this thing, the 13th chapter, Krishna explains the material nature. If you see in the introduction, Srila writes 5 subject matters of Bhagavad-Gita. What are those 5 subject matters? Jeev, Prakriti, soul, material nature, time, Supreme Lord and the karma. These are the 5 subject matters. So from these 5 subject matters, he has been explaining all of this till now. All of them. But as a practical example, because when he tells to Arjuna in 9.1, Gyan Vijnanam Sahitam, I am going to tell this knowledge along with the practical knowledge. Practical. So this is practical 15th chapter actually. Maharaj always told us that for the children particularly, I am telling Mataji, 12th chapter and 15th chapter Bhagavad-Gita should be in their throat, at least these 2 chapters, which becomes the basis when they grow up later on. So this 15th chapter, to get united with the Krishna, because we are attached to somewhere else, we have to go back. So in 13th chapter, he clearly explains the things which are related to the matter, which is material nature. Then he about the enjoyment, and this title of 13th chapter, Prabhuji Mataji, the nature, enjoyer and consciousness. So you have to understand your consciousness, nature and the enjoyer. Then he comes to the 14th chapter, which is basically not. What is the 14th chapter? 14th chapter is the modes of material nature. Because everything is depending on the modes of material nature. We are all bound in this material world because of the modes of material nature. That is why we are here. So for this reason, what Arjuna does, he is thinking that Krishna has explained me all these processes, but how will I know in a practical way? So what Krishna does, he tells a practical way. This is called here a asvatha. Krishna says in 10.26, what he says? Asvatha sarvrakshanam. Asvatha sarvrakshanam. Whatever all the trees in the world are there, in the whole creation, I am the asvatha tree. Same asvatha tree he is bringing in 15th chapter. Right? So this asvatha tree means what is the constitutional position of a tree? The constitutional position of a tree is to be cut. Right? Tree has to be cut one day. Automatically or by nature. Tree will cut. So it means he is giving an analogy for this whole material nature like a tree, because ultimately today, tomorrow or whenever time comes, every living entity sitting in this material tree has to cut itself from this material tree, cut the branches. So in these 5 verses of the 15th chapter, verse number 1 to verse number 5, he is describing the tree. He is describing the process how to cut the branches of the attachment to this tree, and he is describing the whole process in these first 5 verses. So they are very important for us. So in the first verse, what we saw yesterday, in first word, Krishna, what is Krishna telling? ūrdhvam mūlam adhaś śākham asvattam prahuram vayam chandansi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedvita. Vedvita, the person who knows about this tree, he is Vedvita. That means he knows the Vedas. And he says, what is this tree? He is telling this tree as Chandansi yasya parnani. The leaves are what? Vedic hymns. And then what he says? Adhaś cordhvaṁ. This tree is coming from the top, not from the bottom. Prabhupada gave the example, the purport yesterday, like on the bank of the reservoir or a river, you have the tree which look upside down. So we know the nature of this tree, what he has already explained. In the purport, Prabhupada says, the further this tree is explained in this second verse. What is given here? In this adhaś cordhvaṁ tasya śākhā. So branches, now he spoke about yesterday about the where from it is coming and what about the leaves. These two things he explained yesterday. Krishna in the first verse is explaining the where from it is coming, adhaś ūrdhvam adhaś śākham asvattam prahur avvayam. And what is this tree? Asvattam prahur avvayam. Avvayam is very important, Prabhuji Mataji. Although it is given here avvayam. Avvayam means what? Which is non-perishable. Right? But Krishna is very expert. Achinta bhedaved. This material creation, when he says dukhalayam asasvatam, here he says avvayam. So how do we understand this tree is avvayam as well as this tree is asasvatam? Because whole word is talking about, and this whole word is material word we are talking about. So this is asasvatam also, or avvayam also. The demigods, they drank the nectar. And we say that they have amar ho gaye, they are immortal. But really, are demigods immortal, Prabhuji Mataji? They are not immortal. Including Brahma has his lifespan of his 100 years or 311 trillion years. That is the lifespan of Brahma. So he is also not immortal. So demigods are also not immortal. But Shastra says they are immortal. So immortal means, let us say you have the numbers, right? In the mathematics they say infinity. Infinity means you cannot find the last number. Similarly, the demigods, in comparison to our lifespan, their lifespan is so huge. For us, it is infinity. So they are like immortal in comparison to us. Same way, in comparison to our lifespan, which we span maybe some species span few hours, few seconds, or some maybe 100 years or maybe more. But what happens? Everybody has to leave this body and go take another body. What means? It means what? In this material world, we are leaving one body, taking another body, but we stay in the material world. Even if at the end of the day of the Brahma, we go back, when the annihilation is there, we go back. Where do we go back? We go back to the resting place, and then again we come back. But after the Brahma, when the complete annihilation takes place, we go back to the body of Mahavishnu. But again we have to come back. That means coming back is definite. Till when? Till we cut down our connection to this tree. So this is very important, Prabhuji Mataji. Now what is given here? Adhaś cordhvaṁ prasṛtāḥ, adhaś cordhvaṁ prasṛtāḥ śākhā. The branches are, what is given? The extend downward and upward. These branches are everywhere. And Prabhupada explains purport. What he says, branches means the species of the life. Like in the lower planetary system or middle planetary system, human society, we are there. Cats, dogs, all these are there. If you go to upper planetary system, what we see? Lord Brahma, the topmost. And where from this tree is coming? In the first verse we saw the root. The root is coming from topmost. So what is the ultimate root of this tree? Ultimate root is Krishna. From Krishna, so adhaś cordhvaṁ means ultimate root is Krishna. Then adhaṣ. Adhaṣ means the next level branch, which is Brahma. And then what we see? Adhaścha, that means lowermost is we human beings or this material planet. This is the system we have. Now in this system, what we have to understand, how we are tied to this system. So what is given here? Viṣaya-pravālāḥ. Viṣaya means sense objects and pravālāḥ means twigs. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that this tree, the branches, the tip of the branches is the sense objects. And 24 elements have been discussed by Krishna in the 13th chapter, 13.6 and 7. Mahabhutani ahankaro. Mahabhutani, 5 great elements. What are the 5 great elements? Earth, water, fire, air and ether. Then we have subtle elements. Subtle elements, what are the subtle elements? Man, buddhi, ahankar. Then 5 karmendriyas and 5 jnanendriya. And then 5 sense objects. How many it becomes? 23, right? And 24 is the mind. These are the 24 elements. Mind is the king of the senses, basically. So by these 24 elements, mind is there, but in the chief of correct, mind is repeating again, but you can understand that other way, that the modes of material nature, that also come part of it. Some people count 24, some 26, some 23. Different manishis have been different counting actually. So this different. There is no hard and fast rules on this, because different the sages, they have described different way. Some people count 18 also. So some people club some together and they say no, this is this number. So let's not go into that, Prabhuji Mataji. So what is happening? This attachment to this tree is really binding us. How we get bound to this tree? Because we want to taste. We want to taste. There is a small story, just to put an analogy. There was one party, say birthday party. In birthday party, one person goes to attend the birthday party, he is invited, and when he goes there, he is dressed nicely and he has proper invitation. He goes there, music is there, lot of, as you know, these material parties are there, but things are going on. He glances over the party, but he is interested in tasting the things. So he glances over the place where all the food items are stored to be served later on after the party is over. So when he is looking at that, he finds, okay, you have plates, you have sour items, sweet items, this item, that item. In the end of the queue, he finds he has never seen in his life one beautiful cake with the strawberries, with almonds, with so many dry fruits. Very nice cake is there. So he keeps in mind, keeps in thinking that I am going to eat this cake, nothing else today. So he just waiting, simply waiting that when this party is over, I will have my day today. So the birthday is over, then everything is over, they announce, okay, let's have the food now. So queue is there, he goes in the queue, he starts, takes his plate, he keeps small, very small items, other items, and finally he goes to the cake. He takes a big piece of the cake on his plate and comes and sits nicely. He's just thinking, going to have my day today. Oh, wonderful cake is there today. So, it's nature. When you see things which we like most, we try to eat in the last. We don't in the first. Which you like most, we keep it a reserve. Oh, I will have the last taste of this one. So he starts eating, thinking. Then finally he comes to the cake. Oh, let me have the cake. He takes a big bite of the cake. The moment he keeps the cake in his mouth, whole of his enjoyment, whole of his excitement is gone. Why? Somebody forgot to put the sugar in the cake. It's sugarless cake. There is no sugar. He's thinking, what is this? I have been waiting for this, and now I am finding this cake is not sweet at all. It's very tasteless. Okay, let me try again. He goes again in the queue. Let me try, maybe this side there is no sugar, other side could be sugar, he takes from this side. Again same thing. He tries so many rounds, all the sides, but there is no taste in that. Our situation, Prabhuji Mataji, is like that only. When Krishna tells in Bhagavad-Gita, in 5.29, what he says, Bhoktaram yagatapsam saraloka mahesram surda sarabhutanam yatma mam santim dichati. We call in our society, this is a peace formula. Bhoktaram yagatapsam sarvaloka maheswaram. The enjoyer, I am the only enjoyer. Krishna says, I am the only one who can enjoy the yagyas, who can enjoy anything. Can we enjoy? Suppose you like most rasmalai or anything what you like most, and you are called for the feast, and today we decide, okay, this is your choice, you will get only this thing, nothing else. So we bring you one plate of rasmalai, you like rasmalai, oh, wonderful day today, I'll take all the rasmalai, you start eating. Once you eat two, finish two, I bring another two, another plate. Oh, good, today is my day, so I will take another two. Once you take another two, when I bring another two, they will think, no, it's becoming too much. And if I bring another two, then you say, please, thank you so much, I cannot have any more. No, you like the most. This is your favorite. If it is your favorite, then why you are not eating it? Because we have no capacity. Capacity is only with Krishna, nobody else. We have no capacity. Our senses are limited. We are limited. So this person who is eating the cake, he tries same way in the material world. We try to have the enjoyment this way, that way, but we cannot enjoy, really speaking. So we cannot enjoy means what? How can we enjoy this material world? Another thing this verse is given, karmānubandhīni manuṣya-loke. How are we bound to this material world? By the karmas. Karmānubandhīni manuṣya-loke. In the human planet, human world, we are bound by the karma to the tree, to the roots of the tree. If tree roots are there, okay, and you take out the tree roots, I don't know, I have not seen it here. In Abu Dhabi, what they used to do, whole grown up tree is there. The crane will come, pick up the whole tree with the roots, and they put mud around the tree, the roots, and they plant somewhere else. The full tree plantation is there. They remove the full grown tree, put it somewhere else. But if they don't put the earth around the roots, what would happen? Roots will not grow again. So the roots are being nourished in this material by what? Krishna says, viṣaya-pravālāḥ, by the sense enjoyment, sense gratification. What kind of sense gratification we have? Sense gratification, they say three kind of things. Putreshna, vitteshna, lokeshna. Putreshna means, I want my son, his family, my family, I am very well situated in this one, I don't want anything else. Anything happens to that, it is happening to me. So, putreshna is there. Then vitteshna. Vitteshna means, vitt means money. That we are after the money. And then lokeshna. What is the meaning of lokeshna, Prabhuji? Lokeshna means name and fame. If I am a devotee, I should be always called first. I am a family man. No, in the whole of my relations, who are there, I should be the topmost. If I am a politician, I should be this. Whatever position we are there, we always want to be first. We have children, right? And these children, I want my child to be stand in the first in the class. Arey Baba, just think. It is only one position first. How can everyone become first? Nobody, no, it's not possible. So, we should not have this kind of mentality. But this mentality is coming because of association with the modes of material nature, and continuously we are facing this situation. So, this thing is tying to us. This viṣaya-pravālāḥ is really is like the bondage of our with the roots of this tree. Now, first we will see in the third, fourth, and fifth, these three verses, how to cut down this tree. The process is given by Krishna, and when we go to those verses, you will hear that. But Prabhuji Mataji, one thing is very important. Lord Rishabhdev, he spoke in 5.5.8 the key of this attachment. When he says in 5.5.8, Pumsa striya mithun bhamavetam tayor mitho hridaya granthi mahu ato grachetra sutapta vitter jana samoyam aham mameti. Aham mameti. The reason is aham mameti, मैं और मेरा. This is the key bondage for us. Key bondage for us. With this, if we don't have this key bondage, things will not happen the way it is happening with us. What would happen? Then we will have the consciousness, not the body consciousness, but Krishna consciousness, the way we have our acharyas they had. Srila Prabhupada, when he was on the planet, does he lack anything material, Prabhuji Mataji? He had everything at his lotus feet. There was nothing, but he was simply detached from that. Completely detached from that. Pandavas. Pandav, after the great war, everything is over. Even Bhishma Dev gave the knowledge to the Yudhishthir, and Yudhishthir understood then, because Gita given by Arjuna to Arjuna by Krishna, and similar knowledge given by Bhishma Dev to Yudhishthir. Then he is lording over all over the universe. He is this planet. He is the king, Ajat-satru. But the moment he hears from Arjuna, who comes back from Dwarka after staying 4 months over there, what he hears? He sees the Arjuna. When he sees the Arjuna, what is the position of Arjuna? He is asking Arjuna, what has happened to you? Have you been defeated by the unqualified people? Have you touched the woman which is not supposed to be? Have you done this? Have you done this? He is seeing so many inauspicious omens, and then he is so much worried. He is asking Arjuna. Arjuna's face is full of tears, and he is crying and crying. Very difficult way. He tells Yudhishthir, no, who was our protector? He has left us. He informs Yudhishthir Maharaj that Krishna has left this planet. This is the way. These are the Bhagavatam is a behavior, Prabhuji Mataji. This is the way we have to learn. Then Yudhishthir Maharaj immediately decides, if our Lord is not here, why we should be here in this material? He immediately decides to go to Himalayas. If we have this mentality, he has everything. If he has this mentality, if we have that kind of mentality, till we have connection with the Lord and we are able to serve, our life is successful. The day we are not able to serve, we should go away. We should leave. Living and leaving, both are very important for our life. Living and leaving. जीना और जाना. जीना कौन सिखाता है हमको? What teaches us how to live? Srimad Bhagavad-Gita. And how to leave? Srimad Bhagavatam. Parikshit Maharaj simply asked, what is the duty of a dying person? What is the duty? So he asked that question, and then we have whole of Bhagavatam in top of us. Just by basis of simple one question, we are full of Bhagavatam with us. So Arjun asking very few questions, but Krishna is explaining, being the true spiritual master in a way. So the 15th chapter when he is telling, so he is telling in a way that Arjun understands completely. So this verse when he is talking about, and really speaking, Prabhuji Mataji, what happens? This material world, it looks so sweet to us. But is it really sweet? If you see, really speaking, Bhagavad-Gita, by 15th chapter it is over. Krishna's message to Arjuna, by 15th chapter, 16, 17, 18 is simply a repetition. Whatever is spoken before, he is reiterating. And why is he reiterating? Because we are so steel-hearted, so hard-hearted, we have to hammer again, so that our heart melts and we receive the mellow of the Krishna's message. We don't receive that mellow. So adhaś cordhvaṁ prasṛtās śākhā guṇa-pravṛddhā viṣaya-pravālāḥ karmānubandhīni manuṣya-loke. This karma, they bind us, Prabhuji Mataji. Simple example I will give you. Somebody says this person took money from the pocket. Just I make that statement. This person took money from the pocket. Is right or wrong?
From the pocket or from my pocket?
This is the key, Mataji. If somebody takes the money from the other person's pocket, that means it is stealing. Process the same. He is taking money from the pocket, but he is taking from the other's pocket, that means he is stealing. But he is taking from his own pocket, that is normal. It's okay. So we have kamna. Kamna means desires. Yesterday we saw the tree. The whole basis of this material banyan tree is the desires. This, our desires, if we put it that way, what is the kamna or ichha or desire? What is that, Prabhuji Mataji? If I want to have things which is having the same nature of this material world, means what? Temporary. Dukhalayam asasvatam. If I want to have things which is completely temporary, means what we have, just think, analyze that whatever you have today with you, is it going to stay with you? It is going to vanish within your lifetime or end of the life. It is going to vanish. So this is kamna. To have all these things is the kamna, ichha or desire. But even these things, what we have, suppose you use in the service of Krishna. Krishna has given you money, Krishna has given you house, Krishna has given you nice body, Krishna has given you children, family. If all these things you start using in the service of Krishna, that means it becomes what? You want. Suppose you pray to Krishna, hey, oh Lord, oh my Shyam Sundar, please make my mind such that I can use everything in your service. So you are having a desire. We had a desire to have things, but now I have a desire, same thing I want to use in the service. It means what? It is no more kamna. This you can call sort of a tyag. Krishna told three processes: karma yoga, dhyana yoga and bhakti-yoga. If you do this process, you want to use these things in the service of Krishna, then it is coming in the process of karma yoga. But we have to be careful, Prabhuji Mataji. If we have a mentality of piety and impiety, punya or pap, that means we are going to get the reactions for that. But if we do these activities in the process of 9.27, in the mental 9.27, what is 9.27 Bhagavad-Gita? Yat karosi, yat asnasi, yat johosi dayat, yat tapasyasi kotvayat, tat kurusya madarpanam. So whatever you do, whether donation, tapas, whatever activity you do simply doing for me. That's what Krishna told Arjuna. Arjuna, you do for me. If you do for me, you will not be bound by the active actions. That's why in the beginning of the second chapter, when he started speaking the Sankhya Yoga, what he spoke Arjuna, Krishna to Arjuna, in 2.39 Prabhuji Mataji, he told, Esa vita sankhe, buddhi yogi tumam shunu, buddho yuktaya ya partha, karam bandhan prahasyasi. Karam bandhan prahasyasi. This karam bandhan will bind you. But if you hear what I am going to tell you, in what way? Buddhi yoga. Buddhi yoga means bhakti yoga. So if you do that means tyag in the karma yoga. But now we have the connection, right? We know the supreme person or say super soul or Paramatma, whatever is there, completely forgotten. We forgot, right? And we are enjoying, we are trying to so-called enjoyment the material world. This tree we are enjoying, like a monkey running from this branch to that branch, that branch to that branch. That's why we are taking the different bodies and then we try to eat this fruit, that fruit. We are trying to enjoy, but we cannot enjoy. So what happens, if we re-establish, we recognize ourselves, no, I am part of super soul. So that means you are coming to the Jnana Yoga. This is your Jnana only. But till now you have not put Bhakti Yoga. When you come to Bhakti Yoga, when you clearly understand what? That I am part and parcel of Krishna and my duty is to serve the whole part. So I am serving him, and that you start applying. Only knowing is not enough, Prabhuji Mata. When you start applying, then what happens? You are doing the Bhakti Yoga. So Krishna in this 15th chapter is going to tell us later on that he is going to, first 5 verses he is going to tell us about this tree. Then he will tell some of his opulences. Then he will tell in 15th chapter about the Veda. Basically this whole Purushottam Yoga when he completes to Arjuna, Arjuna is already fit now. 16, 17, 18 is just repetition. In this material, in this connection, Prahlad Maharaj teaches us very nicely, Prabhuji Mataji. What he tells us, Prahlad Maharaj, in 7th canto, 5th chapter, verse number 30 and 31. These are very two famous verses. What he says? Shri Prahlad Uvacha Matena Krishne Partasvato va Mitho Bhapatyed Gravratanam Adanta Gobir Vistam Tamisram Puna Charvit Charvadanam Punas Charvit Charvadanam. In this banyan tree, what are we doing? We change ourselves from sitting place of this branch to another branch, that branch we keep on taking the bodies, and we are simply enjoying the same with the same senses, like we have eating, mating, defending and sleeping. These things we have been keep on doing in every body. And Krishna is so merciful. If you desire, we have to be very careful, Prabhuji Mataji, in having a desire. Putana, when she was the Ratnavali, the daughter of Bali Maharaj, she desired, oh, this Vaman Devi is so beautiful, is shining like a sun. If I had my son like that, I will put my breast into her mouth and feed him. Granted. Tathastu. Then he took away everything, Vaman Bhagavan. Then she says, if I had my son like this, I will give him poison. Tathastu. So we have to be very careful having desires. Whatever desire we have, that means we are creating those many bodies. We are going to suffer in those bodies. Only desire, if we have, I need to serve. So Prahlad Maharaj is saying, what he is saying? Because of their uncontrolled senses. So there are so many avenues in this banyan tree. So many avenues. Controlled senses. Person too addicted to materialistic life makes progress towards hellish conditions. Tamisram, Ghor Narak, we are making progress towards that. Their inclination toward Krishna is never aroused. And he says, Partah matirna Krishne parta satova, by his own endeavor, by others' endeavor. This kind of people who are completely materialistic, engrossed, they can never arouse their Krishna consciousness. For them, they need something. You know that in the hospital when somebody is in the heart attack, they give the shock treatment. They need a shock treatment. Shock treatment will be given by whom? A pure devotee. Only he can give the shock treatment. So he says, Adanta gobi vistanta misram punaspracharvadadan. They are simply chewing the chewed. By senses, whatever sense we have been enjoying, we keep on doing that, Prabhuji Mataji. In the next word he says, Nate viduhu swargatim hi vishnum durasayaye bharirarthamaninaha andaythande rupgiyamanat ste pistantrami ūrdhvam nibaddha. Like you are bound. What is saying? Persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life and who have therefore accepted as their leader a guru or similar blind man. He gives the example. There are blind persons, the leader is also blind. When they are led by a blind person, what would happen? That blind person take to these subjects and all of them will fall into the dark well. And that is what is happening. We are following who? People are following politicians, they are following cricketers, they are following this, they are following that, but they are not following the true spiritual person who can take them to Krishna. So this 15th chapter, this banyan tree, the process will be explained in verse number 3, 4 and 5. How we cut this tree, what is the process? Once we cut that tree, that means we are able to get out of the entanglement of this tree. And for that, only way is to have desire. Nobody can be desireless, Prabhuji Mataji. Very clearly, Prabhupada stated many times in the purports, you cannot be desireless. Our desire should be, oh Lord, please make me Krishna conscious, let me serve you and your devotees. We have 3 examples, Vratasur, we have Prahlad Maharaj, we have Dhruv Maharaj. When they were asked for benedictions, they told we want to serve your devotees. So serving the devotees, serving the Lord, that is the process. Krishna willing, next 3 verses we will come to that. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gaur Premanande. Prabhuji Mataji, if you have any questions, feel free. Whatever capacity I have, little, small, I will try to answer. Otherwise, I will say sorry, Prabhuji Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Nice to have your class. Very knowledgeable, very beautiful class, Prabhu. And thanks again, because 2 days before we had a class and I was not able to recollect who was actually Bhutna. So I went back, I tried to summarize, but still you gave us the answer today. So thank you for that. But Prabhu had 2 questions. Number 1, which you said, see, we can't be desireless. But now you're saying don't be attached. Be detached. Now for a grihastha. See, if I talk about a sannyasi, the life is very difficult for a sannyasi, so I can't take that. Now if I'm talking about grihastha, if I don't love my child or if I don't love my family, then how can I nourish my family? How will I bring my child into a good devotional background? So I have to get attached to the child. And it is unconditional and selfless and pure attachment.
Very good question, Mataji. 2 things here. You spoke about the sannyasis. The dress. We are not talking about the dress, Mataji. Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur Maharaj, he was a grastha, right? But he is the acharya. He has so many children. The consciousness is the key for us. If we have a consciousness of a sannyasi, even in the white dress we will be sannyasi. What is the meaning of sannyasi? Sannyasi meaning parivrajaka-charya. Parivrajaka-charya means who doesn't sit at one place. Sukdev Goswami, he doesn't sit at a place. Even the Shastra says the time, Godhuli time, when you milk the cow, only that time he will not stay. But for Krishna Katha, he stayed for 7 days. So consciousness is very important. Now, dress is not important. Now, how we develop that consciousness? This is the key. Very good question. Everybody has that question. In 5th chapter Bhagavad-Gita, because Bhagavad-Gita answer to each and every question we have. 10th verse. Brahmani adhaḥ karmāni sangam tyaktva karoti ya lippate sena papena padma imam bhasa. Krishna is giving a science here. Padma patram imam bhasa. The lotus flower, where does it grow? In the mud, in the pond. Dirt is there, everything is there. But lotus flower stem is coming out, connected, it's connected by the stem to the water and the mud. But it doesn't do it. So what Krishna says, Brahmani adhaḥ karmāni sangam tattva karoti ya. Arjun, you are connected. I am not saying you denounce, this is your not grandfather, great grandsire. I am not saying denounce them. But you follow this consciousness of a lotus flower. Like lotus flower have all the connections with the mud and the water, but stays above it. Doesn't touch them. Or even water, if you put on this, you pour as much water on the lotus flower, the water will drain out. Even living in the material world, completely engrossed, but you have a consciousness of a sannyasi, you will be sannyasi even the white dress. Even the white dress. Our Guru Maharaj, he had a stroke. He was in London. So in the stroke, he was in the hospital. In the hospital, he told our Synonyms Gaurabhadra Devki Prabhu, he told him, Devki, I am going to change my dress from saffron to white. He was shocked. Why? What Maharaj was saying like this? Devki, duty of a sannyasi to be parivajakacharya. I have a stroke, I cannot walk. So, I cannot fulfill duty of a sannyasi. I have no right to wear the dress of a sannyasi. But there are sannyasis who are just, Prabhupada said many times, pseudo sannyasi, right? And there are many like that. So our conscience, now in the material life, you said you have a son, like, fine. It is our duty, once we accept the grasthashram, we should have gone from brahmacharya to stage sannyas, which doesn't happen. And we should not do in the Kali Yuga also. So when you are in the grasthashram, in grasthashram, being a grastha, you make it an ashram. How you make it an ashram? Time is running, I could have told one story, but anyway. So how to remain in the grastha ashram? Ashram means you have to follow the etiquettes of the varnashram dharma of 4th chapter 4.13. When you follow that etiquette means what? In varnashram dharma, grastha duty is what? Grastha duty is to receive the sadhu, serve them. The consciousness of the family should be completely Krishna consciousness. What you do? Do your sadhana so pakka that your son also follows, your daughter also follows, dependent also follows. Rishabhdev tells in 5th canto, 5th chapter, 1st verse, he is telling that the Guru, the demigod, Devta, Pati, Patni, whosoever, they are not doing their duty if they are not taking their dependent to the Krishna. If they don't do that, so that our main duty to give our children is so that they get the best benefit of this human body. So that is the way, Mataji, we have to change, we have to make our consciousness, being them, take full care of them, give them everything, but give them the way Krishna conscious way. That is the only key, Mataji. That's what I know. Maybe some other things anybody can state. Right. Mataji, you had second question, no? Okay. Yes, Prabhu.
What are the 5 places and how we can manage them?
5 places of?
5 places.
Klesha. Okay. See, these kleshas, why these kleshas are coming to us, Prabhu? These kleshas are coming because of our connection. Suppose I put my hand here and get stuck. If I try to remove my hand from this attachment, what would happen? I will have the pain. Right? So these kleshas, depending on the mode of material nature, each in which mode we are working, so this klesha will be according to that. Okay. And these kleshas, you are talking about 5 kleshas. So I have to find, Prabhu, 5 kleshas I am not able to recall now, but these kleshas basically based on the modes of material nature in which we are working. And Krishna says in the 18.40 of Bhagavad-Gita, what he tells to Arjuna? Arjun, from the demigods to the lowest creature in the whole creation, nobody can be out of the modes. That is the statement of Krishna, Prabhuji Mataji. But if nobody can be out of the modes, and without getting out of the modes, how do we go to Krishna? It's a puzzle. It's a big puzzle. But Krishna has already given the answer. He asked in 2.45, he asked, Tragunya Viṣaya Veda Nistraguno Bhavarjuna. Tragunya Viṣaya Veda. Arjun, you go rise above these 3 modes. And he says nobody can be out of that. Then we a very nice example we have from the acharyas that like you are walking on the road. Right? This simple way. You are walking on the road, you are having your car, you go and you are stuck in a red light or traffic jam. So this is a klesha we have, right? But if you go higher, means you pay higher fare. Higher fare means you hire a helicopter. You are in a helicopter. You will be disturbed by the red light or the traffic jams. You will not be disturbed from that. So for that purpose, to come out of these kleshas, we have to go for viṣaya-pravālāḥ nirahara sadhaina 2.59. That we have to go for a higher taste. If you go to higher taste, automatically these kleshas will not disturb us, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. What is the second question?
In answer to her question, I am saying something.
Yes, Prabhu, please.
That anasakta bhav se karam param lakshya prapti karane wala hai. Leaving the family, but not attached to anyone, attached to the Supreme Lord. It is trick of the devotee.
Same thing. Yeah, Prabhu, continue. Nee, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
From the past you had an experience, and we also get these kind of painful experiences. So what happens, our roots get shaken. After doing a little bit extra from the normal Mayavadis, we are at least practicing devotional service, but still we are being pinned by these environmental pressures, these materialistic pressures, which it's like a hurdle, like environmental pressure like corona and all, the materialistic pressures like emotional pressure. Prabhu, then how does this devotional service help us?
Yes, Mataji. I'll
We
tell.
get shaken, na?
We are shaken, yes. I'll give you one example. Devotional service, we are trying to serve in devotional service, right? And we are trying to take the Krishna's names. But these impurities in the form of different disturbances, and we think, okay, I was doing this way, now it happened to me, why it has happened to me, right? These are the things which keep disturbing us. The key reason is the impurities which we have. I'll give you just one analogy. Suppose you have a wood, right? What is the constitutional position of wood? To burn. Okay? So we have 2 pieces of wood in front of us, and we try to ignite the fire in the wood. You experience the one wood catches fire immediately without much effort. Another wood doesn't catch fire. What you see? You are seeing smoke coming out. So what you will do? Oh, you reject this wood, I will follow this wood, this is good. But if you don't reject that wood, what you do? You continuously give the fire to put the fire to the wood. More smoke will come, then you will see some water coming out from that wood. This is the experience we have, or maybe you have burned the wood. And then at one point of time, when you continuously put the fire to the wood, all the impurities in the form of water, dampness will go out, and that would catch the fire the same way that as this wood was burning. So they have the same position at that point of time. But there is a time lag. And this you have to have a full patience. Krishna talks on dharya. We should have a dharya. Disturbances are part and parcel of our life, material life. they will keep coming, but we should not lose our patience like this wood. Why I gave this example? There are two devotees. With my example, there was a devotee who came to us in Abu Dhabi, and within no time, being completely non-veg, this, that, he immediately took the Krishna consciousness. Other person, very pious community, pious family, he did not take even for years. The reason is this wood. The impurities, how much? Cheto Drapana marjana, when we talk about, how much margin we need. Somebody has a small dust, just one wipe is enough. Somebody has lot of dust of years together, then you need more work, Mataji. But we have to have patience and continuous process. That's why Sud Goswami says to Sonakuni, what he says? Saevai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti-yoga chaje ahatu kiya pratiyata yayatmasu prasidati. Atmasu prasidati apratihata. This process should be unbroken. If you have this process unbroken, means you have full patience, you are continuously putting the fire to the wood, and this all impurities will go out one day, and we, our real self, we will know who are we, whom do we belong, and what we need to do, and that will be the day we will be out of this world, Mataji. It's okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. This is seva, Mataji. This is seva. This is good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, like you said that as many desires we have, as many bodies we'll have to take. But say I desire something, money, woman, whatever. But then next moment I know I'm devotee, I'm practicing devotion service. So I don't mean it. So Krishna understands that we don't mean it, but it is coming to us. Because otherwise it will be so scary if I have to go into woman's body or I have to take birth somewhere. So how is that situation? You think we are safe, or is it that?
Nice, Prabhu. We should have the mentality of Prathu Maharaj. Prathu Maharaj told Krishna or Lord Vishnu, Bal hitam pita swayam. Bal hitam pita swayam. Like the father knows what is good for the child. Child doesn't ask. Even if he asks something and father knows this is not good for him, he will not give it. We just leave it to Krishna Prabhu. That's why it's living and leaving. So leaving, when we talk, not leaving not only this body, even leaving our selves completely in the safe hand of Krishna is an art. We should learn that art. The moment we do that, suppose we have thought, okay, I desire something, then okay, Krishna, you decide. You decide what is good for me. If we have that kind of consciousness, we have nothing to worry. And best thing I tell you, Prabhu, best thing is we stop worrying altogether. Why we should stop worrying altogether? Because we are in safe hands, and that we should have firm conviction. Firm conviction we should have, because we are following the path of shown by the Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj, Sadhu Guru, Sadhu Shastra. When we are on this path, means this path is a proven path. In 2.51 and 52, I think somewhere there, or Krishna tells to Arjuna, this path is traversed by the great Manishis. So you follow that path. If I am following that path, I am not going to unknown tribal area, something will come and hit me. No, I am following the proven path. I need not worry. We leave all the worries to him. Let him worry about us. We should not worry, Prabhu. So if we have desired something we have thought of, till now, suppose we have come to Krishna consciousness now or mere. So maybe next time I'll tell a story, very nice story. So what happens, Prabhu? We just surrender to Krishna. You decide. And we know that past time this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told that he will take, Mukunda will take 1 crore janmas to come to me. He started dancing. This is surety. So for us, there is surety. Let us dance. Nothing else to do. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Gurudev ki jai, Gaur Premanand.